As the issues about foreign residents taken seriously more and more, the government's increasingly under pressure to do something about it. And recently we have a growing call that we need to be active about it on the grounds that they are heavily disconnected, which causing unnecessary hostility or bad rumor about them. And that's what's exactly happening in Saitama, especially Kawaguchi. And yet, foreign population unavoidably keep increasing, especially in big cities. So let's also focus on how we help them assimilate, not just complaining about it. That's what he consistently claims and urging us to take action.
First of all, the Japanese government says it doesn't have an active immigration policy. But in reality, the number of foreign residents keeps growing every year. It's expected to keep rising. By 2070, about 10% of Japan's population could be foreign-born. If that's what's happening right now, we have to face it. The most optimistic scenario is that all the foreigners coming to Japan would love the country, be motivated to learn Japanese, and want to integrate into society. But I think there will be many who come simply because they're looking for better jobs or better life. They might not know much about Japan before they arrive. So I think we need to be realistic about who's coming and why, and make sure we're prepared to actually support them, not just expect them to figure it out on their own. What I'm trying to say is that mutual effort is absolutely essential.
He emphasized that especially true when it comes to language, while some people in Japan put the blame entirely on foreigners as if they were just lazy and motivated. Daijiro claims many foreigners really try hard and making a lot of efforts, but Japanese people don't understand how hard Japanese language is.
For English speakers, Japanese language would be the most difficult language. Japanese is completely different. I think both sides should make an effort.
私の日本語はまだまだ上手じゃないから、だから話すのが難しい。
もっと日本人と一緒に話したい。
He suggests not only we do that, but we got to improve our English education as well, so that we're gonna be more comfortable to interact with each other and minimize the language barrier.
Especially how you approached me, I really appreciated how you asked me English and Japanese. I like when they use two languages, so that way you can hear the difference.
Using two languages helps.
Very helpful, very helpful.
If there's no language barrier, I think situation will improve. The other day, I went to Enoshima. There's a chocolate banana stand. Only product they're selling is just chocolate bananas. And there's a sign, Japanese language only. That's how they're kind of afraid of speaking English. Some people call it xenophobic, but sometimes they just can't speak English.
I noticed people in Taiwan, on the other hand, generally way more comfortable to speak English and interact with foreigner or different race. The same goes to people in Singapore based on my experience. So we could assume improving English level as a country is likely to help foreigners' assimilation in Japan.
Taiwanese people are more friendly to people who are having different backgrounds. I do think so. English is definitely one of the necessary specs, and I think that reflects to how Taiwanese people treat people from other countries.
多分日本人はそこにちょっと恐怖心を覚えちゃってるだけで、普通に話して関わってたら多分同じ人間ですから。
In Japan, the focus is heavily on grammar and vocabulary, and Daijiro tries to make his speaking focus. He's been advocating for that in Japanese media to get more people comfortable to interact with foreigners.
So I was born and raised in Japan. Every school I attended, the focus was always the same. Memorizing vocabulary, studying grammar. English education in Japan is designed to help students pass university entrance exam. And that's it, not to actually communicate. We have no clue how to hold a conversation.
The same applies to the Japanese education because it's often grammar focused and not much speaking. That's why many foreigners I talk to understand what we say, but can't speak back to us smoothly enough.
I can understand what people are saying most of the time, but I cannot say the sentence correctly.
So I can understand when people are speaking to me. It's hard for me to say things back.
Whenever I try to communicate, Nihongo Joju, not good.
For those who don't know about Nihongo Jozu, it actually indicates the opposite in most cases.
Do you get Nihongo Jozu'd a lot?
All the time. But what's interesting about that is that when they say it to you, that's how you know it's not Jozu.
Yeah.
You know?
It's only when it's like, your Japanese is like broken. It just feels like condescending. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe helpful to have like an education period before they come to Japan. Maybe 6 months, like learn some words, some phrases in Japanese. Language, yep.
Do you think the government should subsidize?
That's a good question for the Japanese people.
Yeah, what taxes you use for that?
Yeah, exactly. Like that's always important, like how you tax money is used. There is actually a labor shortage, and you want immigrants to assimilate quicker. I think tax money should be used because it only helps everybody, right? If everyone understands, speaks the language.
I mean, the only way to integrate language is you have to learn. That's all on the responsibility of whoever the business owner is. They should learn and they should teach. I don't think it's the government's responsibility.
So whether or not we should offer a subsidy for it is still debatable, but we all agree on this. Because we don't tell you clearly enough, you could continue to make a mistake. For example, my friend Ashley, she had no idea she was taking trash out wrongly up until recently. So she was making the mistake over 5 years because the neighbor or anyone didn't let her know. Many people say we need to adjust that kind of attitude if Japan wants to integrate foreigners.
I didn't know what to do properly. It felt passive aggressive. I wish she had just told me. Like, I'm gonna keep making this mistake unless you tell me not to do it.
You see many people talking about the unspoken rules, making the mistake again.
Another point he emphasizes is this. Depends on the area or situation, but we often group them too much and still see them as outsiders, which make it hard for us to take them as a part of Japan.
Because when people feel like they don't belong in society, things always go wrong. I think most of the Japanese never have foreigner as a neighbor. We see them as a tourist.
結構外国人だけもちろん外国人なんですけど、もう見た目も話し方も外国人なんですけど、私が外国人かどうかどうでもいいって感じ。普通にすればいいかな。
Having said that, he also points out some foreigners take it too personally and overreact, accusing us on that too much only create a division and only keep discouraging us from interacting with each other.
I think some foreigners find it too uncomfortable. For example, when people walk away from them on a train, they feel the need to speak up.
Yeah, sometimes it's very uncomfortable. Some people say it's xenophobic, some call it racist. We definitely should not allow discrimination and racism against those differences, but we should be careful not to casually throw around words like discrimination or racist every time something feels uncomfortable. What they call racism and discrimination in Japan is still not very violent.
Points like foreigners should be easy on Japanese people doing something that seems racist or xenophobic because they don't mean it.
Yeah, especially for people, Japanese, who've grown up as part of the majority. Even a small sense of discomfort can come as a real shock because we've never been part of a minority. It's very homogeneous country. We're not kind of an immigrant-based society.
It doesn't mean you do nothing when you face racism, but rather than fighting or protesting against it, maybe you want to find a way to educate us in open discussion so that you're not gonna be imposing your standards on us in just one way.
I really like Japan, and I feel like most Japanese people are well-meaning people. If people are educated, they won't feel any discrimination towards anyone.
Anyway, to summarize Daijiro's points, these might be crucial for Japan to integrate foreigners effectively. Definitely mutual efforts necessary to make that happen. But with all that said, many cities in Japan facing a lot of hardships, and some people believe that we can't coexist with foreigners as we have too much homogeneousness. Let me share their perspective as well.
日本というのはやはり非常に単一民族性の強い国であると、多文化共生なんかできるのかっていう、まずそこのね、真なる反省が必要だと思います。日本のそのルール、マナーを守ってもらえていないんじゃないかっていう、そういう不安の声をかなり多く寄せていただいております。
やっぱ日本人ってマナーいいですもん。これを日本人並みに教育するって、それは無理ちゃいます？ずっと染みついてきたものなわけでしょ。変わるとは思えないですよね。で、やっぱり外国人の人でやっぱり外国人同士で交流してる方が多いし、クルド人やったらクルド人だけで交流してること多いと思うしね、中国人やったら中国人で交流してることが多いと思うから、クルド人の文化、中国人の文化の感覚で過ごしちゃうから。
諸外国でも起きているようなことに学ばずに、それを推し進めようとしている姿勢に不安を覚えているという区民が非常に多くおられることは確かですね。
この七面倒くさい日本語、日本の習慣、そういうものは日本政府の負担によってでも習得をしていただいて、本当に日本の社会と共生できる形で入っていただける。日本政府としてもっと責任を持ちたいと思っています。
共生がうまくいってない部分もあると思うんですけど、それをうまくいくためにはどういった取り組みを
相手方のがどれくらいが日本語頑張って日本語勉強されてたりとか、店長が外国の方もいらっしゃるくらいなので、でもちょっと増えすぎるのも良くないなと思うんですけど、でもいないとやっぱ回らない企業とかお店もあると思うので、 難しい問題だと思います。
As you know, we try to utilize AI or technology as much as we can to deal with labor shortage. But those robots don't consume or buy stuff and stimulate economy. So after all, we need people who not just work but also consume and pay taxes. And the question is, if immigration is not the option for Japan, what would be the solution?
少子化を解決しなくちゃいけないっていうことを考えなきゃいけないと思うんですよね。外国人に頼る前にね。でまず少子化を解決しようと思ったら、結婚してもらう若い男女にね。結婚してもらおうと思ったら、経済を底上げしなくちゃいけないってことは言うまたないですよね。そういうことをやる前に、外国人にすがろうとするからいろんな問題が出てくるんだろうと私は思いますね。いわゆるシニア世代のことなんですけれども、昔と違って、今の65って若いですよ。まだまだ俺は働けるぞっていう人がいっぱいいるのにね、やはり高齢者だの、後期高齢者だのっていう枠を与えて、無理やり引退させちゃうのは非常にもったいないと思う。能力を発揮していただけるような社会っていうものを作っていく必要があると思います。もっとまず日本人を大事にしましょうよっていう。
Many people also claim that we haven't utilized it enough and we got to help them work. That's what the party is consistently advocating for and gaining a lot of popularity.
人口がこのペースだと減っていってしまうと。中で政府もですね、それを埋めなきゃっていうことでやってるんだけれども、まず少子化対策とかもうちょっときちっとやるのと、日本人で就労してない方が100万人以上いるわけですから、こういった方々の力を日本社会の中に外国人や外国の資本にこれから依存していこうというような政府の方針があるんですけども、それを過度に進めるのはやめてほしいと。やっぱり日本らしさだったり、日本の風習だったり文化だったり、そういうものをやっぱりこれからも残していきたい。